Hello, thank you for clicking on this video. My name is Angelina with Honey Latte Presents. Honey Latte Presents is a booking agency that I started in 2016. I've been booking for 3 years now. I just wanted to make a little Q&A video to share whatever I've learned within the last 3 years and potentially help other people book their own shows, or give some insight about what promoters or booking agents are maybe looking for, or just what it's like to be a promoter or booking agent. A while ago, I posted on my Instagram story, told people to ask me any questions that they might have about booking and promoting, so I'm just gonna go ahead and start answering them. What made you want to get started? That's a good question. It's a good place to start. So my first show ever was in 2016, and it was for a band called Hate Drugs. It was a band that I discovered on SoundCloud a long time ago. I was listening to them and randomly our worlds kind of collided. We had some mutual friends, found out that they were coming to Portland and they needed a show booked. That was before I did any type of music industry business stuff. I just really loved that band and I knew I was passionate about music and I just wanted to help them out. So I ended up booking a show in my parents' backyard. That was actually my best friend's first show ever too. She is kind of also the reason I got started. Her name is Marianne in Mustard. She's gonna see this video hopefully. So Marianne and the Hate Drugs guys are the reason I got started because they gave me the opportunity to book them. That was my first time putting together a show, getting a PA, flyer made, and putting flyers out around on posts and stuff like that, making a Facebook event. It was the first time I ever curated an event that had to do with music. First time I ever did it, I fell in love with it and I knew that I wanted to do it again. The second show I ever booked is actually when Hate Drugs came back to town. It was also with Mustard. I was actually managing Mustard at the time, so I was also booking them shows, but they weren't really my shows. I just would find her shows to play. It was really fun. So Hate Drugs came back to Portland a couple times after that, and soon the word kind of spread around that I was booking shows in Portland. So I started having more touring bands hit me up, or just more people being like, hey, I know a band that's touring and they want to play in Portland, do you want to book them? I started just booking random touring bands in different venues. That was how I got started. I fell in love with it. There's something about curating an event, giving artists the opportunity to play on a stage. I just fell in love with that. What has been some of your most favorite shows? It's a hard question because there's a lot of good ones. My most favorite ones are definitely the ones that are bands that I love, music that I actually listen to a financially successful show because everybody loves to get paid. And starting out as a booking agency, don't make any money. A lot of the time, we don't even take a cut because we're just like, okay, well, bands need to get paid. We're getting better at that, making sure that every show is financially successful. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? This gets tied into my life goal of opening a music venue. In 5 years, I see myself already owning a music venue for a couple years. 5 years, I see myself owning a coffee shop music venue, having that kind of be already up and rolling so that I don't have to always be there. And hopefully I would like to start booking tours and tour managing. That's one of my later life goals. Right now I'm just so planted in Portland and my current project that it wouldn't make any sense for me to try to tour, leave Portland, but I would love to do that at some point. And in 5 years, I definitely want to be in a place where I can do that. What has been the hardest challenge and what has been the most rewarding? The hardest challenge has probably been learning how to say no, because first of all, the first 2 years, 2018 specifically, I didn't say no to anybody. I did not know how to say no, and I wanted to help everyone. That sounds like a really nice thing to do for everybody but yourself. I kind of went crazy because I overloaded myself with so much. It was great and I made it happen, but it was the most miserable time of my life because I just didn't even have time to breathe. I always had one thing after another and I couldn't catch a break ever because I just put too much on my plate. But this year I've definitely learned how to say no to things that won't serve me, or just try to become more picky with the shows I take on and the bands that I book, because I'm learning that my time is becoming more valuable now that I have something to offer people. I just want to avoid being burnt out because I got burnt out so much in 2018. When you are constantly pouring everything that you have into what you're passionate about, it's great because you will definitely make things happen. You will become successful by building that and investing in that, but you have to take care of yourself first. You have to find the balance of doing what you love, investing in your passion, and also taking care of yourself. Because my favorite quote ever is that you can't pour from an empty cup. Every time I hear that, I'm just like, yeah, I know that feeling, because that was me. I was an empty cup for a really long time because I just kept pouring, and And eventually there was nothing, and then there was nothing left for myself, and then I was like, oh god. I had a crazy crash. I basically just became so depressed. I had to take a break from shows for like a couple months, which was insane because it's the longest I've gone without booking a show. But it was a really nice break, and I was able to recollect myself and bounce back stronger and more focused, because when you have so much going on and so many different things, it's so easy to be so scatterbrained and be like, okay, well, I don't know what to focus on first. I don't know what to do first, when your to-do list is like endless. And so I'm finally just trying to make my to-do list a little bit less endless, even though that's impossible. The most rewarding, I didn't answer that. What has been the most rewarding? I think the most rewarding has been going from being a complete nobody, having absolutely nobody know who I am or what I do, to becoming someone that people can be like, oh, Angelina, yeah, she's the person to talk to about this, or she can book you for this. I don't know, I have something to offer. I'm able to serve my community, so I've gotten more recognition from my community for all the hard work that I've done. What's your favorite part about what you do? I think my favorite part is discovering all the new music of like the bands that I book. I'm one of those types of people that always needs to be discovering new music. I can't be listening to the same stuff all the time. I have to, like, every single day I have to find at least one new song. Super easy to do. You just go on Spotify, find a song that you like, start a radio, find one of the next songs that comes on, go to their artist profile, find a song, whatever. Or I just look through my emails to see who's hitting us up to book them, because a lot of the time they're really, really good. I've booked so many of my favorite bands. I actually started a Spotify playlist of all the bands that I've booked or that I'm going to book, and it's called Honey Latte Presents Past, Present, Future. If you just search that, you'll find it, and there's so much good music on there, so give it a follow and take a listen, because it will not disappoint. What is a booking agent looking for when responding to band inquiries? That's a good one. I personally can't stand super long emails. If I get like an initial email from a band and it's like pages long and they're giving me their entire biography, I don't really have time to read all of it, and I don't really want to. I just want something that's accessible, easy, links. What I always look for is I check the Facebook page. I think as much as Facebook sucks, I think every band should have a Facebook page. I know it sucks, but it's a tool. It's a tool and it's a resource, and Facebook is a great resource and tool for musicians, period. So if you care about your music enough, you will make yourself a Facebook page, because it'll make you more accessible to promoters, bookers, other bands, fans, everybody. It's just another platform for people to be able to find you and find your music. So get a Facebook page. If you don't, just do it. Just do it. So I check their Facebook page, I check their Instagram, I check their Spotify or Bandcamp. Those are like the 4 main things that I look for, because on Spotify I'm able to see how many monthly listeners you have. I'm able to see how many plays your songs have, where your top listeners are, or what city they're in. I like to be able to see your genre. Just being able to read a description of what your music is supposed to sound like is very helpful to me. It just helps me be able to categorize, like, okay, this band can go on this bill. I need to see a date, a target date of like when you want to book the show. It's good to have a few dates, like maybe 3 dates. Like if it's like, oh, the 22nd, the 23rd, and the 24th. These are our 3 dates that we would like to find a show in Portland for, like one of the 3. That's great. But when a band is like, hey, so I'm looking to book a show anywhere between December 5th and the 21st, or January 7th through the 18th. I'm just like, what? It's like way too broad. Like it needs to be more specific. Some promoters or booking agents might have a different opinion on that, I guess, because my booking process revolves around touring bands. So the show date is determined by the touring band, not by me. It doesn't really help me to have that much of a time period. The more specific you can be about what you need, the better. So I need to know when you need to be here, what genre you are. I also need to know what city you're from, because if that's not easy to find, it's really annoying. It's just like, why can't I find out where you're from? Like, it's like such a simple detail. If it's not in your Bandcamp, not on your Facebook, not on your Instagram, I'm like, where am I gonna find that information? That's why you include it in the email. What are all of your qualifications, big and small, qualifications for booking a show? The venue has to be all ages, has to be accessible. That's basically it. Those are my only real qualifications. That being said, I do occasionally do 21 plus shows, only because there's no all ages venues in Portland. That's why I want to open a venue, because they just keep shutting down left and right. Everybody that is in the Portland music scene knows it, and Portland desperately needs more all ages venues. Desperately, desperately. Effective ways locals should be using to promote their shows. That's a really good one. So I think that like if you're in a local band and you're playing a show and it's coming up, you should be talking about it to everybody, always. If you really care about your band and about your success as a band, you should be so stoked about your shows that you're literally telling everybody. Like you're telling your coworkers, you're telling your family, you're telling your friends, you're posting about it on social media. Any band that I know that genuinely cares about what they're doing bust their ass to promote their shows, and they do it naturally. They just talk about it and get the word out. That's the number one. Number two is, well, everybody has their own different style, but I do know that posting flyers is obviously really helpful. Inviting people to a Facebook event is really helpful, even though Facebook events suck, but it's a resource and a tool. Printing out hand flyers, like these sized ones, and actually handing them to people is really helpful because it's not like a big flyer that people just like walk past. It's something that goes into their hand and they take home with them and they can see it and be reminded of it. That's really helpful. Let me think outside of the box of effective ways that locals can promote their shows. I think that as long as every person in the band is talking about their shows, that's all they really need to do. As long as they're talking about it and posting about it actively, like at least a couple times, that's enough to get people to come out. It's really as simple as that. It's not rocket science. It's not like, what are the secrets of getting people to come out to a show? It's more like, how much do you believe in your band and how much of a priority is your success as a band? If anybody has any comments or questions or feedback, I'm all ears. If anything in the video actually resonated with you or you were like, okay, I learned something, you should let me know because that'll make me feel really good about doing this whole video. Thank you so much for watching. I will try to make more videos, and I appreciate everybody that actually watched this whole entire thing because I know it might have dragged on since I'm not so good at speaking to cameras yet. And now, the most important part of the video. Rue! There she is. Hi, Rue. Okay.